tough shot. Bounces around. Goes in at the buzzer. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh!
It's population.
That's how you win a game.
It's population. We hustle every day to find picks. You can tell us if you want to get rich. It's population. We robbing underdog and prize picks. We the best in this biz. You ain't telling us shit. It's population. We love making money quick, fast. Cooking up a team card. The whole crew about to smash. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash. The dopest team you ever seen. Winning money, stacking G's. Boogie setting traps, but they'll never catch me. Some people get addicted like rats to the cheese, but I got one obligation to bring Johnny to his knees. Holding back the rocks till the morning he knows. They'll be fishing in the shack, plotting nukes with the pros. Only with craw, never reload. Underrated to my amigos. We go with honest, we singing the bloods. We know when that fucking cheat code. Party that I'm sweating, they can't be good for my health. Some may call it making bets, I call it investing in myself. I'm picking props like stocks, population for the win. Got my sips in by the buzzer now, let the games begin. It's population. It's population. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash.
All right, what is up, crew? We got a 4-game slate. It's Tuesday, October 25th. A lot of pending news, moving pieces, waiting on lineups, but thankfully we got the GOAT himself and Tito We Trust with us today. And both me and him are dealing with some illness and trying to fight through it for the crew and fam. So
we're having flu games. We're having flu games right now.
Yeah, flu games. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, we've been killing it with it.
But yeah. I mean, started off the season much better than I even thought. I know we were gonna start strong, but it's been a hot streak. And today we both talking before the stream started that not feeling this slates as much just due to all the moving pieces, pending news, and we're gonna have to wait on props. Props are gonna drop late, so it's gonna be late scrambling. Can't get solidified. That many solidified props in your core group. But I mean, we're gonna try our best here. I with 4 games, I'm hoping we get done in an hour, give us 30 minutes to work together on finalizing the list, and then we'll hop on voice chat with everyone and solidify some cards. But yeah, let's dive into it, man.
Let's get it.
So all these games are staggered pretty much by 30 minutes, and then the late night hammers and island game. Okay. But first game is at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have a 220.5 total. It's the Pistons at the Wizards. Man, this makes me know that it's fall time. I don't know. I just get that fall heading into winter vibes from Pistons Wizards. But it's I mean, Wizards are 6-point favorites. Are coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Cavs without Garland. Went to overtime. The Wizards played great. They just fell short. Porzingis and Beal led the way in shot volume, and then the Pistons are struggling big time. They're getting it done offensively, but their defense has been a major hole of theirs, and it's something that they're aware of, and especially in the paint, they don't have the length and bodies to handle big athletic bigs, and
Isaiah Stewart isn't enough, man.
Yeah, and then you got Duren off the bench as a rookie, but he's a rookie. It's going to take time for develop defensively. That's like something for bigs that takes years to get under their belt.
Exactly.
And it's been a struggle for them defensively. So this is setting up nice for the Wizards offense. My only thing is, with a 6-point spread, and how bad the Pistons defense is playing, I just hope Pistons can keep it close enough and long enough for some of the props that we might consider. Because there's blowout risk here. I mean, we saw what Knicks drop 130 and blow out the Pistons on, and the Pacers even beat the Pistons. So that's saying a lot because that's one of the key.
Hey now, the Pacers were keeping it close with the Sixers too. Let's not sleep on them.
Yeah. Well, Sixers do that. They tend to play down to their opponents, right? Like they
They
struggled
do.
with the Spurs as well.
Every year, man. Every year that, and then MB is just looking like he's not fully there yet.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's start with the visiting team, Pistons. It's been kind of like a two-headed monster in the backcourt between Cade and Ivy, the rookie.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of it they're switching off on playmaking, and also with scoring. So it's just a matter of how much can we trust Ivy to keep the scoring up. Being a rookie, could be due for a letdown game in terms of that. But they opened his assist at 4, which we really like. But then since then it's bumped up to 4.5. Just to show some stats on Ivy, his pass distribution to everyone on his team. Let's see if I can blow this up so you can see. Majority of the assists are going to Sadiq. A lot of those for 3 balls and Bojan as well. So 7 of his assists are to Sadiq, 6 are to Bojan. And then not many to Cade and or Stewart, which is kind of interesting because I'll show what Cade looks like in a second. But yeah, a lot of it you're relying on, if you want to play his assists, you're relying on Sadiq and Bojan to hit their threes. Now, Bojan is playing, he's shooting lights out from 3. He's like almost 50%. That's not going to sustain, obviously.
Yeah, that's going to fail at some point.
Yeah. So that's going to be hard to rely on. And relying on Sadiq to make his shots.
Yeah, never do that.
You're a gambling man. That guy is the definition of a streaky shooter.
Yeah,
let's pull up Cade's distribution, because I think this is key to go over, because I mean I think we're going to deal with this all season long, it seems like, deciding between who's going to play make in current situations the most, who has the most ideal spot here.
Yeah.
If you look at Cade, a lot of his are actually going to Ivy himself, and then he's getting some into Stewart, unlike Ivy, and then just like Ivy, a lot of his assists are going to Bojan and Sadiq. So there's a little consistency, I think, in terms of Cade, and rightfully so. His prop is too high, 2 assists higher at 6.5.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting those assists to Stewart, because he's passing to Stewart 33 times, where Ivy's only passing to Stewart 9 times. So Stewart's going to have a higher when he's not taking threes. He's going to have a higher field goal percentage opportunities near the basket. So that's something to keep in mind there. So yeah, Ivy seems to be more 3-point. His assists seem to be more on the perimeter, 3-point dependent, whereas Cade's getting it done across the perimeter and the paint.
I would personally just rather bank on that than bank on those threes falling for Detroit too.
Yeah. Because Sadiq, he's had a couple good games in a row shooting wise.
Yeah, he's had some good games. So. And he's also rebounding really well.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he's 3rd in rebound percentage for the team. I think it's Isaiah, then Duren, and then him at like 10% rebound percentage. So and we also see that Porzingis can draw some fouls too down low. Isaiah, he can hack. He has a history, so that might be some consideration. Maybe he gets a little foul trouble. Maybe they need a little help on those boards. Don't mind it. Wish it was 4.5, but don't mind it at 5.
Yeah, I think in the books it opened at 4.5, and the public was smashing on the over heavy, so the PrizePicks bumped and opened it up at 5.
Yeah.
If I was to choose a prop for him, I'm with you on that. It's one that makes sense, and a little more stable and less volatile than his shooting. So I could get with that. And then so Cade, I guess all his assists are always live because his assist potential is always sky high. It's like around 14 plus per game. But yeah, you're relying on Detroit guys to hit their shots. But if they are, and Wizards' average defense, they're around 10th defensive rating so far this season, but they played really, really poor teams besides like the Cavs without Garland. I think, besides that, I think his 3-point prop is somewhat in play. He's been really thriving at the top of the arc. He's really liking that on the off ball catch and shoot. He's shooting over 45% when he's catch and shooting the 3 ball, as opposed when he's dribbling it up. He's shooting like around 30% when he just dribbles up and takes step back threes and things like that. But he's really liking that top of the arc 3. So if you wanted, I get it, if you want to pair Ivy's assist with Cade's 3-point, that would make sense. But again, I showed you that pass distribution. Not many of Ivy's assists are going to Cade for some reason.
Yeah, it isn't the strongest correlation there.
Yeah, but the Cade is running he is driving off that pick and roll action at the top. And his 3-point shooting is improving so far. This small 3-game sample size, he's up to 35 total percent. And he's the kind of player, as the season goes on, his shooting percentage improves. He tends to start off slow. But
and what probably really helped him is that he actually has somebody to like set him up this year. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Last year he's just on a team full of chuckers. I mean, you had like Killian Hayes and Corey and everything coming off the bench and everything, and they could do a little playmaking, but to have someone like Ivy who can
right.
really dish the ball, that's going to open up a lot of offense for Cade.
Yeah, I agree. Just to give an example of like how he's really liking this off ball action here. Well, this one he was wide open, obviously, but with Bojan, like he will attack the paint and draw defenders. I mean, because most of the scoring is coming from Bojan and Sadiq, so they're going to draw defenders, and a lot of times they'll leave Cade open because they don't respect the shot. So it's a low line if you want to target it, but if you had to choose, would you go with his assist or 3-point? Or are you kind of just fading the backcourt for Detroit?
I mean, I have small interest in him. I mean, like I said, we don't really have a whole lot of options to go off of. But I do like his assists. I still think that's just disrespectful for him. It's a little mucky now because of Ivy. That gives me a little pause. It reminds me of like a lot of these other teams that have these, dominant 2 backcourt guards, and you're just constantly guessing, kind of like Chris Paul and Booker. You're just constantly guessing, okay, who's going to shoot, who's going to pass. So there's that, but it's still too low for him. I think the 1.5 threes is good if you think they're going to be trailing and could potentially be a blowout. That could have the script of them being behind, so they have to chuck some threes. If they leave him open, I'm sure he's going to chuck them, and it's a low line, so you only need 2. He can get that in a half. I think that's probably where I would lean to the most. I usually like going his PRA just because I like getting everything from him, but just with that, I don't know, just the potential here doesn't really feel right for it.
Yeah, it's a major pace down spot for Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit's running at the 10th fastest pace, but the Wizards are like around 24th, near the bottom of the league in pace. So that hurts assist props. Obviously because there's less possessions overall and less shots going up, but so he's gonna have to be efficient on his playmaking. His players going to obviously be efficient shooting.
Yeah, I probably lean his threes in maybe.
Okay, and then for Ivy, besides his assists, we talked about. Anything else interests you? His scoring potential, his overall PRA fantasy.
I know a lot of people were on like his fantasy. I mean, I'm not mad at it. Don't get me wrong. I'm really not. I don't think it's a bad play. It's just he's a tryhard, but you just never know with rookies. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's creeping up there, and he's had some big games, but he also played Orlando and Indiana. And then he played New York and he barely cleared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that gives me a little pause, especially with like the pace down. Just not super sold on it. But I don't think it's too high to not play.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to trust rooks early on in the season. We saw Mathurin, one of our favorite players. He had an off night and it happens. So
It's bound to happen, and we see a lot of green and we get hyped by them, and
Yeah.
the next game is just a flop, and that's just bound to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, you ready to move on?
Uh, yeah, I don't really have anything from this, anything else from Detroit, unless you do.
No.
No, cool.
Okay. Moving on to the Wizards. So we saw kind of a spike field goal attempt per game for Porzingis. I think he matched Beal last game with like 18 attempts, and as a result, Kuzma took a real back seat. I think Kuzma only had 8 field goal attempts, which is kind of crazy because Kuzma in the other 2 games was chucking it and taking like 8 to 10 threes, let alone not just 8 total field goal attempts. That could change today. And I think one thing to point out is that Detroit is allowing the 3rd most threes. And Kuzma likes to sit in the corner. And when
Yeah.
Beal drives, Beal will kick it out. Or when Monty Morris drives, kick it out. Or if Porzingis is running the high post pick and roll action, he'll find Kuzma. Like I said, the first 2 games he took like 8 and 10 threes. And then he only took, I believe, 3 that last game against the Cavs. And he still made 1 of the 3. But he's at 1.5. The one thing that Detroit's really struggling on, being still a young team, is they're switching on defense and they're leaving
Yeah.
players wide open. And this is why a big reason they are allowing the most 3-point made currently in these first 3 games. And I just want to give example of this, how poor the switching actually is and how open guys are. So this is against the Pacers. You see there's just slides down and then
Look at that
he also
wide open
slides down,
man, yo.
and that just leaves Nembhard wide open. Like
That was horrible.
like that's Diallo. Chuck slides. All 3 guys slide in, and he just completely misses assignment.
That's horrible.
It's real bad. I saw like I saw a stat like the amount of open threes they are allowing is just crazy high. If you leave Kuzma or even Porzingis, those guys open like this, they're gonna hit their threes.
Oh yeah.
See,
Oh
see,
yeah.
there's no switch there. I think I know it's hard
It's
trusting Kuzma, but that's the only 3-point prop we have for the
It's
Wizards.
too low, isn't it?
It's low.
It's low.
We just I think we're gonna deal with this all season long is distribution of shot volume between these big 3 here. As
Yeah.
long as like Porzingis doesn't dominate volume again, which he could, because I mean Detroit's struggles, like I said, against athletic bigs and lengthy bigs. So there very well he could dominate shot volume again. But I think Kuzma's
Yeah.
shot volume goes back up today.
Me too.
Great spot for him.
Also to note, Kuzma is from Michigan.
Oh yeah, there you
So
go.
yeah, little narrative there going, and he loves playing them too. He gets up for this game. I think
That's
we
a
saw
great
it
point.
last year too.
Yeah.
And I feel like, to me personally, like this has no like facts behind it. But to me, I just think not only did Porzingis just kind of step up, take over some usage, but Kuzma's probably like, look, next game is my game. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
show
that's true.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, the last 3, and obviously we don't go off of hit rates, but for the last 3 games against him, he's had 26, 23, and 21. And it's
Yeah.
not really to show that okay, he's going to score 20, but it shows that there is some motivation there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. It's a great point. I mean, I would play both his 3-point prop and then hedge with his just overall points.
His points, yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Because just the chance that he goes like 1 of 6 or something like that. But
Exactly.
if his first 2 games he was 3 of 8 against Indy, and then 4 of 10 against the Bulls, and then 1 of 3 against the Cavs. So, if he gets up to about 6 to 8 attempts, like he was getting around that range for the
He
first
should
2
clear.
against this poor switching Pistons defense, I think it just takes 1 corner 3 and then 1 wide open broken play 3, and boom, you're over. Or just go with his raw points, like you said.
Yeah. Either or.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
like that.
I like it as well.
Do you like his rebounds at all? I know a lot of the community was on his rebounds. Kuzma just scares me as far as rebounding.
It's pretty volatile. Because we saw like last game Porzingis. Porzingis dominated the glass last game, and I think the big reason was that because he had to stay so much close to the basket with Jared Allen out there.
Yeah.
So, with Isaiah Stewart, he likes to play out of the 3-point line sometimes. So maybe it's more offensive rebound potential.
Yeah.
Or defensive rebound potential for Kuzma with Porzingis maybe getting brought out. So I could see it, but
Yeah.
with how bad Detroit's defense has been, I probably just want the scoring potential.
Yeah. Completely agree.
And and speaking of that, we made Beal the cover guy. So also a great spot for him. What's your thoughts? Obviously, I'm not going to pair Beal's points with Kuzma's points. That definitely will eat into each other because if Kuzma goes black hole, it's going to eat into Beal. But they could both get it done against his defense, but just lowers your odds.
Yeah.
What's your feel on Beal? Are you going to have him in any separate cards from Kuzma, or are his lines all too juiced for you?
I'll have some Beal. I mean, his lines are interesting. He's just so hard for me to guess, right? But I know if you got on Underdog last night or early this morning, they had his points at 21 and a half.
Wow, that's the books
Yeah,
open at 22 and a half. I don't know why'd they go under. It's weird.
exactly. So, I mean, 23 and a half feels less comfortable, especially if we see someone like Kuzma, does have a big game, could take away. I wish his assists were at 5 and a
Yeah.
half.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of takes me off of that. 7's a lot to ask from someone who's primarily a scorer. Nah, I don't. Maybe his turn. No, because it's a Detroit too. So no, I don't really have a whole lot of lean.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would just consider his points, just raw points straight up.
Yeah, and really just as a hedge to Kuzma, I think Kuzma probably be. I'm thinking probably my priority today.
Yeah, same here. I think one honorable mention, if you wanted to, you could go with Monty Morris's 4 assists. I think it's right on the edge, but I mean, I think it has a high potential, a minimum pushing. If we think that the Wizards are going to fire on all cylinders against this Detroit defense, and Kuz is going to go off, and Beal, and even Porzingis at times,
He has plenty of pieces around him.
he can get it done. A lot of times he's not even looking to score; he's just looking to play make. So it's on the edge, but it's just like a fringe play you're looking for. And then now with Denny in the mix and starting, and then you got Will Barton playing big minutes off the bench. That 3 spot for Washington just seems like a crapshoot and impossible to figure out.
It's
But
a
this
hot
is also a
hand.
great spot for Rui. Scores like over 60% of his points in the paint. And like I said,
Did you see his point prop?
it's 11.
Yeah, it's crazy low.
It is low, but I think it's just because the volatility of the position and minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Then he got into foul trouble last game, right? And he lost out on big minutes. So then, as a result, maybe Rui played a little bit more. But even that last game, Will Barton played 35 minutes off the bench, I believe. So
Jesus. Yeah, I don't really want to mess with that spot. I mean, it's tempting.
it is tempting. I mean, it's a great spot for him. Yeah, he had 4 personal, and I think that foul trouble kept him out for the Denny rest of the third quarter, and then Rui and yeah, it looks like Rui's mainly checking in for Kuzma at times, but
yeah,
I would expect about probably this 18 to 20 minute range. So he's going to be super efficient, but he is a chucker when he gets in.
He is, and just like you said, Detroit is not anything to be scared of.
Yeah, especially in the paint, which he likes that little mid range close to within 10 feet of the basket.
Yeah,
game. So
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not. But I'm with you on the Kuz call, and in Porzingis, I think this is, like I said, a great spot, but I think all his lines are right there, a little too high, and then
Yeah, just a little too low.
and I don't want to go under because it just due to the matchup, he could go off. So I'm probably gonna stay away.
Yeah. I think it's probably the safest. I know his points open up at 19 and a half, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's right there. I mean, if Kuzma goes cold at all and someone has to pick up the slack, could easily be Porzingis down low.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what's crazy in that Cavs game, last game, he scored 10 points in the first quarter. And then he just like didn't score again for like a whole 2 quarters and then scored in the fourth,
Porzingis,
which
he
is kind of crazy.
he does that a lot, man. He
Yeah.
does that a lot. Like he'll just start off hot and just like, yeah, I'm good
Yeah. Maybe you could consider some first half props for him. 9.5.
for his points.
Yeah. You see, like, because, yeah,
One,
he had 10 in that first quarter. And he didn't score again after that first quarter until, like, I believe, like, into the third and then fourth.
uh,
It's
yeah,
right there.
it's right. And I mean, all of his first half props are right there. 19.5 fantasy,
Yeah.
15.5 PRA. That is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not super excited.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's just move on.
Let's do it.
We got the Mavs at the Pelicans, depleted Pelicans, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Low total, 218.5, and Mavs are 6-point favorites. Zion's out, Ingram's out, and Herb Jones is out. So not only is their offense take a hit, but their defense takes a hit as well. I have tentative projected lineup for the Pelicans with McCollum at the point, Devontae Graham at the shooting guard, Trey at the three hole, and Larry Nance at power forward, and then JaVale starting the center.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that maybe could get different, but I think Willie Green favors Devontae Graham starting
Yeah.
in place. I think the only thing he could do differently maybe is Jose would come in to maybe help guard Luka. But I think even if Jose doesn't start, I think he still plays really deep minutes to help out defensively with Herb out. And then we'll probably see some Jackson, maybe some Jackson Hayes, and some Najee Marshall. But I think a lot of these guys are going to play big minutes as long as the game stays.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I
close.
definitely agree on that call about Devontae Graham too. Seems like whenever there is a starter out, that they just instantly just kind of throw him in there.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's some leans we can get to with the Pelicans, so I want to get to them quickly. With Dallas, the potential blowout here with the Pelicans being shorthanded kind of has me worried, but I think what stood out to me is Luka's 7.5 rebounds. I think that's too low, especially if the game can stay close enough, long enough. He'll crush that rebound prop. We've seen it in close competitive games. And then I know a lot of people are on Christian Wood. That guy's the bane of my existence. He has all the talent in the world. I say all the time, but the motivation is his main weakness, and you don't know which Wood you're
he's
gonna get.
he's crashing the glass though. Sheesh,
Yeah,
man, he's
so this
crashing
is
the
a
glass.
popular prop talked about in the community. Give me your gut feel on it. I would say that Pelicans at full strength are number 1 rebounding team in the league. But now you take away Zion and you take away Brandon Ingram. Those are 2 solid rebounders. However, Larry Nance is not a slouch on the glass, so he's going to slide in and play even more minutes. And then you got Trey Murphy, who's also a phenomenal rebounder.
Yep.
So those are 3 still very solid rebounders with JaVale, Nance, and Trey Murphy. So it's not a slam dunk, easier matchup just because Zion and BI, great rebounders, are out. So give me a read on Christian Wood and Luka.
So I literally didn't even look at Christian Wood because just like you, he's the bane of my existence. He's failed me so many times. But I mean, he has been rebounding really well. You do lose a couple of good rebounders. Obviously, they're going to be replaced by some more good rebounders. So kind of cancels out there. My concern, I think, is going to be the shot selection for the Pelicans. And a lot of that due to because now you're putting Devontae Graham and Trey Murphy in there. And then you still got CJ in the backcourt. So that's just like threes galore, right? Whereas before you had Ingram, you had Zion, and Herb, who just didn't shoot. And you had Ingram, who loves his mid-range game. You have Zion, who loves the mid-range again inside the paint. So now you're probably gonna have a few more long rebounds. That makes me scared for his rebound potential here.
Sure.
coupled with the fact that it's a strong rebounding team.
Sure, I'm with you on that, and that's why I was kind of leaning Luca's rebound for that.
Yeah.
For that reason.
I like
Yeah, I would say the Pelicans have been taking very minimal threes because of exactly what you said. Herb
Mhm,
Jones and Zion dominating, and J-Val dominating so
mhm.
many shot volume in within the 10 feet of the basket. And I think let me just double check the stats on this, but I'm pretty sure they're not taking nearly as many threes as they used to. But with
Yeah,
this lineup, like you said,
they don't
that
need to.
should increase twofold.
Yeah.
Let's see they're last.
They're
So
last. Yeah, I don't see them being last today
right.
with all those chuckers out there.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Well,
Do you
I will say that I would maybe play Luca's rebounds in one, and then Hedge and just
hedge?
play Wood and rebounds in the other. Do you have any strong leads on the scoring potential for any of these Mavs guys? I've been staying away just because how juice Luca's points have been, and I know he's been clearing it, but does that sustain, especially in potential blowout? I don't know. And then
Yeah.
all these
It's
other guys like Dinwiddie's barely getting over his points, and if you want to go under, it's a huge sweat since he's now a starter.
yeah.
And THJ is out, right? So,
Yeah. Yep. Just solidify some more minutes for him.
and I don't want to bet on Finney or Reggie. So, it, any other props besides rebounds for Dallas?
Honestly, no. Dallas just sucks anyway to bet on.
They do.
They're really not fun. Only thing that I did take a very fringy shot at was Dorian under assist. Very fringy shot. But
Okay.
I just one, if we think blowout, two, if we think, Luka's gonna have free reign and just be dominant as far as usage. I just don't really see him getting two. That's just not his role. He's a rebounder and a 3-point shooter. So fringy, but it's low, so it's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to Pelicans. I think we should probably spend our most time on them because they're the most like dynamic moving pieces of the slate. So do we have any new props, or are we still working with the same ones?
I think we still got, yep, all the same ones.
Okay. I'm curious to see what they open Graham and Nance at. I'll keep
Yeah.
an eye out on those. Might not get them till 30 minutes before lock of main slate, or we might get them after the first game.
If we get them, hopefully.
Yeah.
Just like we didn't get Aldama yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well known that when Brandon Ingram's out, McCollum's assist goes up. His assist percentage goes from like 26 to 33%. However, the 6.5, it might be tempting, but to me, it's on the edge, and that's because we know how slow Luka plays and the Mavs overall. They're bottom in pace. They're like bottom 5 in pace. So we're gonna have less, definitely less possessions here. Low total. I mean, I want to get to it. It makes sense. Let me bring up this so far this season. Let me bring up CJ's pass distribution chart here. The problem is that a lot of his assists are going to Zion, and that's because
Yeah.
Zion's shooting about 68% from the field because he's taking those high percentage close range shots, obviously.
Yep.
Now it is interesting that 5 of CJ's assists have been attributed to Trey, and that's from the 3 ball. So if you were thinking about playing CJ's assists, I think a strong pairing would be Trey's points. As you can see here, he does cure a lot of assists from Trey, and that's because of the 3 ball. But yeah, he can get some to Nance, but not so much to J-Val, which is kind of interesting. Only 1 assist so far in the 3 games to J-Val. So maybe not a strong pairing there if you want to do CJ's assists with J-Val's scoring potential.
Well, I mean, is J-Val scoring mostly off a board? So
A lot of it, yeah, and I think a lot of it is from Herb and Ingram when they're driving and they
kind of
dish it
just
off
dish
to
it
him.
down to him. Yeah.
Yeah. So just wanted to point that out. If you wanted to play CJ's assists and trying to look for a pair there. I really love Trey. As you all know, we talked about him at length. I think he's a really lengthy combo guard forward where he's 6'8", but he can drain the three. He's a walking bucket. But it's like I said, slow pace, and he has a tough defense to go against. Mavs don't really allow threes. I think they so far, just like last season, they're allowing like top 3 least threes made, and that's just due to like Reggie and Finney out there on the wings.
Yep.
And yeah, so I mean, there's solid perimeter defense, but Trey can still get it done. I feel like 13 and a half is pretty low for a guy who's probably going to now play 30 to 35 minutes. Prior to that, he was playing about less, like 20, 26 to 28. He's also a really good rebounder. I think the 5.5, if he's playing that many minutes, is definitely live. And especially if Luka's chucking threes and Reggie is chucking threes as well.
Yep.
I like the 5.5. So I'll probably just play those in separate cards. And then JVal, I think the 2.5 is very intriguing, but I went back and looked at the data so far this season. A lot of his assists are going to Zion. All the assists are going to Zion,
Sheesh.
man.
I mean, I mean, shooting 68%,
Yeah,
it's hard not to.
yeah. He's just a bull full steam ahead, headed to the basket, and yeah, it's getting those assists up there. But I mean, they still run the pick and roll through JVal, and at times he'll be at the high post and look for shooters, and he'll have Devontae Graham around now on the 3-point line. He'll have Trey Murphy. He'll have CJ. So better shooters than the normal starting lineup in terms of outside shooting.
Mhm.
But yeah,
So, quick note. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no, you're
off.
fine.
But quick note: Trey just got bumped to 14.5.
Perfect.
Perfect. So definitely lean his boards now.
Yeah. I wish
Which,
we had his points rebound because I mean
yeah,
he's a chucker. He doesn't get assists.
yeah, exactly,
um,
exactly.
so
And
you're basically
I think they're
yeah.
taxing the PRA.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Okay. Well, with that said, any other props besides the ones we covered? Do you have a lean on JVO? I think, with Zion and Ingram out, I think his fantasy potential should go way up.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. And 37.5. I mean, he could get some stock upside here. He could definitely get some stock upside here.
He could.
Are you worried about blowout at all?
I
For him to
am.
clear that?
I am. So I mean, what's your thoughts on his first half fantasy? Since
Did they
he
juice it?
clears it so often, I don't know. He's
18
so
and a half.
active in the first quarter and second quarter, even with those other guys playing.
I don't mind the first half, which is weird to say because I hate first half.
I
But
hate first half too.
if we're gonna play it with those thoughts in mind, then I can get behind it. I mean, he should get plenty of usage. I mean,
Yeah.
plenty.
My only concern is that he was getting this massive usage in the first half. So far, this first 3 games with those guys, normal starters. But now you're putting Trey out there, and you're starting Trey, and you're starting Devontae Graham, 2 black holes who love to chuck. He might lose out on some usage because of them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they aren't ball distributors. At least Zion and Ingram, they'll at least still find the open man, just like you said. They'll like dish it down low to him. Yeah, yeah. I could
That's the
get
only
behind that.
reservation. But I get you want access to his fantasy potential with those 2 big key guys out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. I'm still not mad at it. Would you lean his first half over his full game though?
What do we give the probability this game blows out?
What's the spread on it?
It's
Yeah,
6. Last time I
6.
looked.
Hmm. It's really contingent, honestly, on Luca. If Luka
I
has
mean,
a great game,
we've seen this squad without BI and Zion go into deep in the playoffs and give Suns a run. Like
they
they
hold their own.
hold their own. So Jose off the bench will be a spark plug.
Hmm.
And Nance he can hold it down for Zion in terms of just defense and rebounding. So and he can get buckets too. So
I don't think it'll be a blow. I don't know. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I mean, it's the Mavs too we're talking about, so I'm not super concerned with that. I think I think a 6 point spread is about accurate.
yeah. Okay, well then I'll probably lean
Full game.
full game and hope he doesn't get in foul trouble because of Luka driving to the basket.
I hope not, man. I hope not.
I definitely want to look out for Larry Nance props because they might open him too low
Yeah.
based on his potential, because we know his rebound and scoring and playmaking potential. So his PRA would be of interest depending on what it opens at.
Yeah,
Um,
these like side pieces that like they just have to throw up later because of news. They
Yep,
always
yep.
drop them way too low.
Yep. Definitely. So, to finish off, what's your thoughts on McCollum? They took his fantasy up the board after the news.
Oh wow.
It was at 38.5. I'm sure if they put it back up here, it's gonna be over 40.
40, yeah, I was gonna say that.
41. Yeah, 41.5 probably. What do you have any leans on any of his props besides the assist that we talked about?
No, I'm gonna stay away from a CJ.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna stay away from him.
Okay.
No, he's gonna chuck it. My only thing is that maybe his threes under, maybe, and that's only contingent because of like maybe Trey Murphy and Devontae Graham just start black holing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just chucking it. You know, maybe it does blow out, and he gets a little less run. We've even seen CJ get in some foul trouble too. So that could always be a possibility. Again, fringy. I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Okay. Yeah. Um, I think his turnovers can be considered as well. He's gonna have the ball so much more with BI out.
Yeah,
And it's just way more opportunity to turn it over here. And with how lengthy and scrappy the Dallas Wings are,
yeah.
could be some potential there, but it's never fun betting on turnovers. So just looking for a low line that kind of makes sense with the game script and the current role that he's going to have to play in this. All these guys being out.
I like that call though. I like that.
I mean, if it stays close too, I mean, he's going to play huge minutes and have to do it all for the team. So.
And again, I mean, the backcourt for the Mavs is pretty solid defensively.
Yeah.
So it should give them at least some trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So we're in agreement on Trey on a rebound, and now it's at 14.5 points, which is unfortunate. And then JVal fantasy and assist and first half fantasy. And look out for. All right. Let's move to the Clippers Thunder. We gotta hurry along because we got about 15 minutes, about 20 minutes. Do we have any SGA news since we've been on? He was upgraded to questionable. He went from out to upgraded. Do you know? I've not looked. Are you muted?
My fault.
Are you
Yeah,
good?
I was muted. You said his status. Yeah, he's still questionable. He got upgraded questionable.
Yeah.
That kind of played into the theory. I think we were talking about it before the stream. How with that spread, it's probably taking into consideration him playing. So
Yep.
I definitely think he's probably gonna give it a try.
Okay. Well, with that, I mean, so yeah, Giddey's out, and Jalen Williams is out. I mean, I think the 2 spot could either be Aaron Wiggins or Trey Mann. I assume they're gonna stagger Trey Mann with SGA and put Trey Mann run the second unit, but we'll see on that. They haven't since that SGA news. I think they took all the Thunder off the board. So
They have Dort and
Okay.
well, I think they still have Dort and Earl up. Let
Yeah,
me
Jerry. Okay.
refresh. Yeah, so they have those two up.
Yeah. I think obviously they're wait and see until we
Yeah,
get more props and final lineup and confirmation that SGA is playing.
yeah.
We also I have Kawhi on here with the asterisk. Like, is he actually even going to play? Maybe he's a late
He's
rule out
out.
due to the matchup, or he just plays off the bench and plays 20 minutes and just to get some conditioning in. No
He's
idea
out.
of a tie, right?
He's out.
He's out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of my initial hunch was that he was going to be a late rule out.
Yeah. And they already pulled the props for the Clippers.
Okay, so we don't even have to talk about this.
Nope.
Okay, moving on. I will say, that if we get Rocco props, great props. Coffee props, also great.
Yeah.
Huge boost to Powell. For a lot of his props.
Yeah.
But
God,
yeah, I think
he's been awful lately.
that this game is gonna have to be a complete like standalone pair with maybe the late night hammer game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we found that out. Well, let's move to late night hammer. We got Warriors at the Suns. This one has the highest total at 225.5. Suns are 1.5 point favorites. No injury news or nothing. We got normal starting lineups. But I believe that Draymond and Clay are still on their somewhat minute limit. Not playing over 30 minutes, playing around 26 to 28. I think one thing to take into consideration traditionally when the Warriors play the Suns, Monty Williams loves to trap Steph up at the top early and often. But that was when they had Crowder, and they would use Crowder and Bridges would just shadow Steph. They just wanted to get the ball out of his hands. But at times Steph would still find his way and work off the ball to get his points. But with the uncertainty on how Monty's going to come out defensively on him, I'm kind of going to hold off on Steph props because, traditionally Monty, like I said, will trap, but I don't know with this current Suns roster how he's going to do it. Because besides Bridges shadowing him, Cam Johnson is not a good defender.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
And they can't bring like Torrey Craig. He's like a total traffic cone nowadays at his age. So I don't know. I maybe consider assists for Steph here at 5.5 if they do trap because, or maybe Monty just says, okay, we're gonna go all in. Bridges, try your best and just ISO. Let's go man to man on him.
Yeah.
But I think Wiggins has been really stepping up with Clay and Dre playing limited minutes, getting it done scoring wise, and I think they bumped his point prop though. Unfortunately, it opened at 16.5, and I believe it's at 17.5 now. I liked it a lot more at 16.5.
You off of it now?
I am.
Yeah.
I mean, it was already fringe for me, but I don't know. I mean, I love Wiggs. He's so consistent, but I totally get if you want to go with it.
Yeah.
I'm more curious. I want Wiseman props to drop. And I love pairing Wiseman with Poole. I think they're really working well together. They're forming like a real dynamic duo
with some Poole assists.
Oh yeah,
man.
Poole is racking it up to Wiseman. Majority of his assists
is.
are to Wiseman. Here's an example. The pick and roll action you see here. I mean, Poole is just looking for him a lot and
easy money
every time he's out there. And Wiseman's going to get a decent amount of minutes against Jock Landale defense, so he should have his way with that when Ayton is on the bench. Even seeing
Ayton though, I mean, Ayton can foul.
Yeah,
like he's not sweet whenever it comes to hacking people. He'll put his hands on you for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I like that. Yeah, I would definitely pair that with some Wiseman props because they're always too low. They always open at like what 8.5, 9.5 points and like 13.5 PRA.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think in the books right now on DK Sportsbooks, I believe, and Pinnacle, maybe it's at 9.5 for Wiseman. So we'll have to wait for that. Maybe Price Picks juice it to 10, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've been smashing Wiseman overs for like the past however many games they've played. It's money.
Yeah,
money.
Yeah, and I mean against the backcourt of or front court of the Suns.
Yeah,
they have no one. Like, McGee's gone. Biyombo is even like I think he's like been DNPing. So, yeah, it's a great spot for him. And here's a pass chart for Poole showing all his passes, and you see to Wiseman, he's passing the most at 23 passes, and all of his assists are going to him. Essentially, 7 of his assists. So
there it is.
He's racking it up. Yeah, he's had 4, 7, 7. I think if Steph gets trapped or whatever, and Clay's playing limited minutes and Poole's playing alongside Steph, I think Poole could obviously have a good scoring night. He's done that against the Suns in the past when the Suns trapped Steph. So if you wanted, you could definitely go with the 19.5 points assists as well.
Yeah,
because it's a straight up even addition. There's no tax on that. If you're worried about it just pushing at 4, if you want to throw in his points as well.
I like that call. I really like that call, actually.
Yeah, I mean, think about the second unit that Poole's going to get to. I mean, he's going to get Cameron Payne.
They're awful.
The Suns bench is so bad. It's so bad. Yeah. So other than that, nothing really stands out to me.
Someone in chat mentioned Wiggins under turnovers.
I can't believe, why do they even have that problem?
I have no clue.
That's a weird prop to have.
That's so weird.
Sure. For late night, if you're building a late night card, I get it. Okay, let's flip over to Phoenix. So I did some diving on rebounds so far for the Suns. And I was like, okay, obviously the Warriors every year, and again this year so far, they're taking top 3 most threes. So you're gonna have a ton of long rebounds. I was like, okay, who's getting the most 3-point rebounds so far for the Suns? And so far over the last 3 games, it's Ayton. Booker,
really?
Booker, Cameron Johnson, and Chris Paul all are about split between 3-point and 2-point missed field goals rebounds. But here's Ayton. You see over 54% of his rebounds come from missed threes. And when it's 19 plus feet, he has a rebound frequency of 62% and 15 rebounds.
Man.
So I have to go back and look, but maybe it's, the first 3 teams he played, they're just taking a lot of threes, but I know they played the Mavs.
They take a lot of threes. Yeah. Clippers are going to chuck it too.
But they're not like anything crazy in terms of like the Warriors. So I don't know. I mean,
you think his rebounds live? 10.5? It's not too steep for you?
It's steep. My thing is that Looney's going to keep him down in the paint.
Yeah.
When Looney's out there. So I don't know. It's just weird. It was just a weird thing I found. And like Booker, he had more rebounds for missed field goals than threes. And the same went for Bridges too. So I don't know. Something to think about. Because I mean, I think you want rebound potential here because how many threes the Warriors are going to take, but it just seems to be non-consistent. But within this group, anything standing out to you for the Suns? What?
I said, and that sounds like Phoenix too.
Yeah,
it's just hard to guess them. They even put some campaign props up. I don't like this team, man. I don't like betting them. I barely even like watching them.
Oh yeah, me neither.
So I don't really have anything. I know earlier I did like me some CP3 under points just because it was 13.5. He's barely been getting there, and then you got all these other guys. You got Ayton, you got Booker dominating the shot volume. Chris Paul still doesn't look like he's in full like season shape yet. But that's down to 12.5. Not feeling that. I think they had his assist at like 8.5 or 9 earlier on here Underdog. 9.5 is getting there, but I don't mind a flyer on it. Just a very fringy, maybe 1 card flyer on it, just because it's Chris Paul, and it's still below 10. But besides that, I don't want to bet on steals or anything like that. I mean, I don't really have any other leans here. What about you?
I mean, what we're seeing early with the Warriors, and it was a trend last year too, and especially with Dre playing less minutes and being at his age. bigs have been able to have their way on the glass and scoring. So I don't like Ayton. I never like betting on his overs, but I think just due to the matchup, and he's going to see a lot of Wiseman out there too, not just Looney, and the scoring potential is really high for him.
Yeah.
So his point is still at 17.5. So I believe that's what it's been since opening day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's been way more involved in the offense.
Yes.
Besides, I mean, the Clippers game was a blowout. So, but all the games have been somewhat competitive. He's been getting it done, but I never like betting on
And didn't he get in foul trouble that game too?
which one, the
Clippers
Clippers.
game? Pretty sure he got in foul trouble. I might be wrong.
Yeah, he had 5 personal fouls. Yeah, he lost out on key
Yep.
third quarter minutes. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, just like I say, he's been highly involved. So, and Golden State, I mean, they bleed everything to bigs. They bleed
Yeah.
boards, they bleed points. So, I mean, I think you go to it. We don't like him, but he's playing a lot better so far this year.
Yeah, he definitely has the best matchup of anyone of the big three of the Suns. So
Are they taxing his oh, never mind. They didn't give us his his PR. Never mind. Yeah, so I guess gonna have to play points in one and maybe take a flyer at one for his boards.
yeah.
SGA.
Yeah, the Warriors allowing they're tied for the 4th most points in the paint so far. Makes total sense. So
SGA is playing.
okay, so look out for that, props. I think his scoring is always live, and especially with all the Clippers guys out.
Yeah.
You should have an easy time. What do you think it opens at? 27.5, 26.5?
If it doesn't, I'd be highly surprised. Highly surprised. I mean, he's been crushing what 25.5.
Oh yeah.
So I think it has to open at least 26.5. Do they have him on the books yet? Or it's
I
probably
don't
too
know.
early.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it last season when he was on that streak. It would get up to 27.5, 28.5, like DeRozan when he was on that heater. So
Yeah.
I mean, without Giddey, I mean he should dominate. So
Yeah. And no minutes limit for him either.
yeah, ride him out.
Ride him out.
All right, well let's do a team card and our stream card, and let's get out here and get to the rank list for everyone.
Let's get it. Yeah, we got 40 minutes until lock.
All right, you want to go first?
Let's do it. Let's.
Oh wait, we have 30 minutes to lock. Oh my god, we haven't gotten the rank list. Okay.
Yeah. I know you want Murphy, so I'll go Kuzma.
Points.
Let's go points. Yeah.
All right, I'll go Trey's rebound, and then
Do you think points over threes?
yeah, just to be safe.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, if
I
he's
agree.
yeah.
I agree with that.
All right, and then what was some other ones? Like I don't know why I had the time backwards. I thought 4:30 lock. Okay.
Yeah, me too. That messed me up. You want to go Luka boards?
Okay. All right, last one. Let's go with the original gut. Let's go all rebounds here, but let's go with Sadiq's rebound.
Let's do it. I was gonna say it, but I was like, nah, he's not gonna go for it. Let's do it. All right.
And obviously, this is gonna we don't have a full board yet, but yeah.
I like that card though. For what we have to work with, I like it.
With low total games, that probably assuming there's gonna be a lot of missed shots. All right, well, we got to get out of here. Sorry, chat, we couldn't catch up. I totally messed up. I thought it was 4:30 lock. Okay,
I did too. That's on me too.
We're gonna get the rank list out right away. Let me hop on. But Worst case, I'll still stay on voice chat after the first game locks, and we could just still
Chop
build,
it up there and still build the ranks even after the
yes,
first
for
game.
the last 3 games. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Catch you tomorrow. Big slate tomorrow.
Yes,
All right, thanks,
sir.
Tito.
No problem, man.
Later.
Later.
Puts up a tough shot. Bounces around. Goes in at the buzzer. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh!
It's population.
That's how you win a game.
It's population. We hustle every day to find picks. You can tell us if you want to get rich. It's population. We robbing underdog and prize picks. We the best in this biz. You ain't telling us shit. It's population. We love making money quick, fast. Cooking up a team card. The whole crew about to smash. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's catch. The dopest team you ever seen. Winning money, stacking G's. Boogie setting traps, but they'll never catch me. Some people get addicted like rats to the cheese, but I got one obligation to bring Johnny to his knees. Holding back the props till the morning he knows. They'll be fishing in the shack, plotting nukes with the pros. Only with crawl, never reload. Elevated them up, amigos. We go with honest, we seeking the bloods. We know when a fucking cheat code. Party that I'm sweating, they can't be good for my health. Some may call it making bets, I call it investing in myself. I'm picking props like stocks. Population for the win. Got my sips in by the buzzer now. Let the games begin. It's population. It's population. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's go.